Hello, you beautiful people. It's Friday. Hope y'all doing good out there in today's time. Keep your head up and keep moving. Look, we're talking about video games and the coronavirus. The coronavirus and video games. When the coronavirus hit, the world was in a desolate place. You seen people were dying, people were getting sick. You seen businesses closing early. You saw people that were on cruise ships couldn't come in. They had to stay on the ship, so they were like in a floating prison, floating casket, floating house, and they had to watch the world from there, or on TV. You saw people in other countries, they were in a lockdown state in their own apartment buildings. They couldn't come out, and then they had to watch the world from the TV or from the balcony. So the coronavirus, and video games, it was about, when it comes to video games, it was about who had the infrastructure in place to deal with the coronavirus and the blows it was bringing. Because when the coronavirus hit, the video game industry changed too, because things that developers were used to doing, they couldn't do it anymore, and now they were in a condensed space, and they probably couldn't move around like they wanted to, or go to do shows like they want to. So they had to come up with new ways of how to create games and how to work around the coronavirus, and also staying safe and staying healthy. So the coronavirus, when it comes to video games, man, it was about who had the infrastructure in place, to deal with the blows that the coronavirus was gonna dish out. The first console that I could think of that was built for that was the Wii U. Till this very day, I still stand by that console till this very day. Okay, because the features that it comes with was built. The features that the Wii U come with, all of them. It shows that this console was built to deal with the blows that the coronavirus was coming with. So what the Wii U needed was more CPU power, more RAM, and some more space on that 25 gig CD, and that was it. I can think of the Xbox. The Xbox was the second that I could think of. It was about the Xbox. Phil Spencer. They were always hard at work when it comes to the Xbox, because the Xbox they had things in place. They had the shop, the community, and the way the infrastructure was built. You can buy your games as soon as they come out. So the Xbox will be the next system I could think of, and then the third will be PlayStation. But PlayStation need to work on theirs, so I'll work on theirs some more. So the coronavirus, it was about, it was about which company had the infrastructure in place, had the infrastructure in place to deal with the blows and the hardship and the trials and tribulation that the coronavirus was bringing. And I still give the Wii U the edge over the Nintendo Switch any day, because the way the infrastructure on that thing is built, you just need some power behind the system to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? That's to be real honest with you. So the coronavirus was dishing out punishment. It was dishing out it was dishing out hardship. It was dishing out blows, man. It was dishing out trials, man. It was testing people's wits, intelligence, communication, everything, man. And when it comes to video games, man, it was all about who had the infrastructure in place. So when you saw if you saw GameStop closing and they weren't opening up, and you saw your local retail stores where they were closing, so now it's okay, if we can't get the games physically, it's about now it's time to get the games digitally. And if you had the infrastructure in place, then you can deal with the you can deal with the bombs and the nukes that the coronavirus is bringing, man, because it was dishing out punishment. And the reason why to this day I still like the Wii U, because it had so much things in place for it. You know, it had the virtual console. If you get bored, and you know, you can play classic game, but then it had the Miiverse, and the Miiverse is huge, because with the Miiverse you can take picture shots of games, talk to people about different subjects and all that. But then there's the drawing aspect of video games, and the Miiverse, that part of gaming come in handy, because now you know, it would have kept, the Miiverse would have kept your mind like at ease, and take your mind off the stress of the world while the coronavirus was dishing out the damage, man. You know, and I think the Wii U till this day, in my opinion, and I stand by it 100%, that the Wii U was built to deal with what the coronavirus was dishing out. If you look at all the features it comes with, I mean, from the virtual console to the Miiverse to the internet to the YouTube, Hulu, Amazon TV, and Netflix, to the friends list, the meme maker, to the everything, to the Wii U chat, all that, you know, that system was built to deal with that coronavirus, man. And all it needed was some CPU power and RAM, man, and some more storage space on that 25 gig CD. They would have been better off, because there were games coming out during the pandemic that the Nintendo fan base couldn't play. They couldn't play, like when everybody was playing Star Wars Battlefront, like the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox fans, the Nintendo fans couldn't play them. They couldn't play none of those Star Wars games. So to me, the Wii U was built. I still believe this till this very day, that the Wii U is built to deal with any pandemic that comes this way. It's built for it, just based on the feature it comes with alone. So and then with Xbox, Phil Spencer with the entire Xbox crew did their homework, man. They did their homework, because they were getting the publisher sales, the deals, and all that. But they had that infrastructure in place, and then Sony had it too. And Sony need to continue to work on theirs. You know, they need to continue to work on theirs. But other than that, man, when it comes to the coronavirus, man, it was about who had the infrastructure in place to deal with the hardship that video games were about to face. Because let's say the Wii U I got the refresh, like how the Xbox One got the refresh, or like how the PS4 got the refresh. What that means is that any game that Sony and Microsoft was getting, the Nintendo fans would have had it. You know what I'm saying? They would have had the Jedi Fallen Order, they would have had Squadrons, they would have had Battlefront 1 and 2, they would have had all the Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasies, all that. You know, even Final Fantasy 7, the remake. So when it comes to that coronavirus, man, it was about, especially video games, man, it wasn't about who can sell the most during hard times. No, it was about who had the infrastructure in place to deal with that, to deal with the punishment that the coronavirus was about to dish out. Because remember, businesses were shut down. The world was a ghost town. So the best way to get video games was digitally, you know. And a lot of us gamers, including myself, we bought our games digitally. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I still love the Wii U till this day, because it had an SD card port, external hard drive support, it had a tablet, a real one too. Had the motion controller. It had the those 4 controllers, the Wii U Pro, GameCube, Wii Pro, Wii Classic Pro. Okay, and then you got the virtual console to deal with, and you got the Miiverse to where you can draw your games to deal with the severity of what the coronavirus was doing and how the world is. And then I mean you have your YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon TV plus the internet to deal with. So to me, the Wii U was built. To me, the Wii U is built to deal with the coronavirus, man. You know, if we're not out of the pandemic yet, because I think it's gonna get worse, man. I think it's gonna get worse again. And to me, when it comes to the coronavirus, man, and video games, it was about who had the infrastructure in place, you know, to deal with the coronavirus. And to me, the Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4, they had it, man. The Wii U had it. The Wii U, the Wii U to me, like I said, needed some more power and RAM. But the Xbox One and PS4 already had something going. So yeah, man, it was the coronavirus is not like a natural disaster. It's a pandemic. You know, a natural disaster is like fires, floods, earthquake, hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunami. That's what a natural disaster is, man. But a pandemic is different, man. So a pandemic is where things get scarce, you know, where it changes the way of life. It changes the way of life. And it was about that. The coronavirus was about who had the infrastructure in place to deal with the blows that it was coming with, man. And that's what Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo should be working on, is their infrastructure. Because the next pandemic that comes out, man, they best be ready for it. They best be ready for it, man. They gotta have an infrastructure in place. This is why I keep saying that Nintendo need to go back to the Wii U and fix this thing and put plan. They need to. You know, you can't. I'm not fit. The Switch ain't it for me. The Switch ain't it. It's the Wii U. It's the real deal. Because it had your needs covered. And like I told people, like one of the folders could be for Blu-rays and DVDs, to where you can play Blu-ray and DVD movie on your TV or on the tablet. You know, so the Wii U is the truth, man. So look at, and the Xbox One had the infrastructure in place to deal with it. You know, so they can get their games digitally, so they don't miss out on anything. PlayStation, same way. You know, PlayStation got to keep working on theirs though, because they got to bring that entire catalog of games that they left behind. But the coronavirus, man, was about who had the infrastructure in place, man. You know, I remember going down to GameStop and seeing it close, going to Best Buy, seeing it close, going to all these places, and I'm like, everything, the world was deserted. The world was deserted, man. And the coronavirus was a warning to the video game industry, man. Like, man, work on your infrastructure, man. Work on your infrastructure, because the next pandemic that comes, man, it's gonna be worse than the coronavirus. It's gonna be worse. You know, so this coronavirus was a warning to the game industry. Work on your infrastructure, man. You know, that's what it comes down to, you know. And this is why I stand by the Wii U. I like what Sony is doing. Keep working on it. And I like what Microsoft is doing, man. But Nintendo, on the other hand, need to go back to the Wii U, because the next pandemic that hits, man, it's going to be worse than the coronavirus. Okay, it's going to be worse, and we're not out of the woods yet. So yeah, and not only that, chips and CPU chips and boards and stuff are getting hard to find now, because of this pandemic we're in. Just saying. So I just made this video to just talk about it, man. Like, it was about who had the infrastructure in place to deal with the blows that the coronavirus was about to dish out. You know, because everything came at a standstill. You know, and that's what it came. That's what it was. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video so y'all can enjoy it. But nice talking to you, beautiful people, again. Chris. Still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing.
Or Dark Side.
I'm gone. Peace.